So I'm Hannah Clark. I'm a Senior Specialist Educational Psychologist for Learning based in West. Something I found challenging but interesting this year is working with a trust of 5 schools who've had virtually no SEN knowledge and systems in place at all. So we've been making friends, we've been making a school development plan for each school and across the trust for consistency. And we've been making progress, although it's been 1 step forward and 2 steps back, but we're getting there. And another thing which I was very pleased about was that I passed my Essex money laundering online assessment with 100%, because when I went to France at Easter I was accused of money laundering. Falsely, just to point that out. Yeah.
I'm Andy. I'm an educational psychologist, a main grade EP in the West team, and something that I've found very challenging but very satisfying this year was being right in the centre of coordinating an EP service response to a tragic critical incident in one of my schools, and to help the school staff, parents and children to manage the difficulties that caused. It was something where I was really able to see the impact that we had in a very, very tricky situation.
I'm Sophia Wareham. I'm Senior Specialist Educational Psychologist, CAM. I have really enjoyed working with my trainee Gemma this year on with a group of co-educators in an SEMH provision running reflection group, which has been very enlightening, interesting and has helped us and them to move forward.
So I'm Sarah Woods. I'm one of the educational psychologists based in West Essex, and something I've really enjoyed doing this year is the Bright Minds, Bright Moods cognitive behavioural therapy intervention. I did that with a whole Year 3 class who were very lively, and at times it was quite challenging, but it was the highlight of my week every week, and I'm looking forward to, we're evaluating it, so I'm looking forward to getting the results of that and seeing how much of an impact it had and what progress they've made.
Hi, my name's Amna. I'm an educational psychologist working in Essex, and I've really enjoyed working in Essex, particularly with working in consultations in schools and with parents and helping them see through a problem that's quite complicated and getting them to think through the problem quite carefully and strategically, and using frameworks to help them to do that. And really empowering schools and parents as well, and then go away and say they can do one thing differently for their child.
I'm Gemma. I'm a trainee educational psychologist in West, and this year I've really enjoyed setting up a gender and sexuality interest group with other psychologists to think about gender identity related issues in children and young people.
Hello, my name's Kathy Jackson. I work in the West EPS. I am, I suppose, to some known as the person who organises the social events. I look after people's emotional and social well-being, and we had a very successful trip to the Sky Garden in London, and hopefully having another London trip out this year.
Hello, I'm Diora Williams, educational psychologist in the West team, and I've really enjoyed the new EPS model this year because it's provided me with opportunities for quality time with the SENCO throughout the year.
So hello, I'm Claire Peters and I'm educational psychologist in the West team in Essex. One of the things that I really enjoy doing and value as part of our work is our QA, our quality assurance of our psychological advice. So that means that not only do I get another great EP looking at my piece of work to make sure that it fits the criteria for psychological advice, but I get to learn so much from reading other people's reports. So that's something that I really value. Thanks.
I'm Julie Chase. I'm a mainstream EP, and I want to talk about the parent group that I coordinate that's been running for 9 years, and we do it on the second Friday of every month in Dunmo. And I like to feel that it's a really good piece of community psychology. The other thing I've really enjoyed is some of us have set up an interest group about gender and sexuality, and that's been really exciting and inspiring, and we've just built up a folder with some model reports and lots of information, and I'm hoping one day we might be able to develop some sort of policy for Essex on gender questioning children. Thank you.
Kate Barnett, educational psychologist. One of my highlights recently was delivering a Bright Minds, Bright Moods intervention for a group of Year 6s in one of my primary schools. And I've just finished recently, and one of the girls came up to me in the final session and said how much she would miss me and they wanted to continue working with me. And I didn't know much about their background before, but she said that prior to starting the group intervention, she had been anxious and worried about attending school, and that she had been using deep breathing and some of the exercises that I had gone over with them, and she was managing to get to school without any worries. So I think that'll stay with me for a while, that's had such a nice impact for that one student.
So I'm Chris Norton, educational psychologist, and I'm particularly proud of some training that I've been delivering to a number of primary schools around understanding behaviour, and I got some really good feedback from staff, and I actually really enjoyed delivering it. Help staff to reflect more and not be so reactive with the children they were working with. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Kate and I'm the Deputy Principal EP in Mid, covering West as well at the moment. And my favourite piece of work this year has been having the opportunity to deliver Elkland speech and language training to colleagues to share my love of speech and language and to hopefully build people's confidence in supporting children.
Hello, I'm Marcus Bennett, I'm an educational psychologist. A couple of examples of some interesting work I've been involved in this year have been co-facilitating a group for parents of adopted children, which has seen the group emerge as kind of a great social support for one another, as well as an opportunity for me to use my knowledge of psychology to help them understand some of the challenges their children might face, and to help them share those challenges with schools and therefore make it improve those children's kind of lives with regard to what's happening in school. Another example that I've been thinking a lot about is how to make my work more person-centred and particularly child-centred, and I've been experimenting with writing reports that are framed as a letter to the young person, and in some cases even kind of written alongside the young person, which I've had some fantastic feedback regarding both from children and from their parents.
Hi, I'm Jill Griffiths. I'm an educational psychologist in Mid, and one thing I've been especially proud of this year is working with a group of LSAs and providing some training on social, emotional, mental health needs, and shifting their perspective of naughty children to actually that the behaviour is trying to communicate something.
Hi, I'm Amy Silverbank, educational psychologist in Mid. Something that I really enjoyed this term is setting up and running the locality meetings. Chris and I have actually joined together, and we started with a training session around solution circles, and then more recently we've done something on supporting memory in the classroom. It's been really great.
My name is Madeleine Smith. I'm an educational psychologist. A piece of work that I am proud of this year is an emotional wellbeing project that I've been working on in collaboration with Western Sydney University. We're working in 8 or 9 schools. It's a whole class emotional wellbeing project. We're coming to the end of it now, where we're going to be looking at we're collecting our post-intervention data, so hopefully that will produce some interesting results. That's my piece of work this year.
Hello, I'm Claire Fuller and I'm an educational psychologist, and I've enjoyed working with a group of other professionals helping kids who've got speech and language needs to access a really good provision without cutting through some red tape and not having to have EHC plans to do so.
Hi, my name is Sally. I've been working as an assistant EP now for probably 9 weeks at this service. If we're thinking about things that I've enjoyed and things that have been valuable experience for me in the last 9 weeks, the best part of the job has been able to shadow experienced EPs, so working alongside them, watching them carry out their assessments and being able to ask how, what, when, where, why about those assessments, right the way through to sitting in on outcomes meetings with them. That's been very valuable. I've also had the opportunity to work with senior specialist EPs on preparing and leading training in a particular area, and that's been a very good experience.
Okay, Paul Atclaw, Senior Specialist Educational Psychologist for Speech and Language Communication. Why I like working for Essex? thing I like most about working for Essex is the variety of the role and the flexibility with which and support you're given to do the job. For instance, things like working at home and the technology of being able to read emails and all of that sort of stuff quite seamlessly, and it's quite effective, and that's a good reason to work here. Thank you very much.
My name's Anna and I'm an educational psychologist, and one of the things that I've enjoyed doing recently is working very closely with a clinical psychologist, and we were working with a school and a family where the relationship had broken down, trying to repair the relationship and prevent the child being excluded from school.
Okay, I'm Kirsty Wagner, I'm a trainee EP.
I'm Natasha Colley, I'm one of the Senior Specialist Educational Psychologists for Children and Adolescent Mental Health.
And we are enjoying running a group in a primary school at the moment, which is a group for children who all have fairly low self-esteem. So we are using psychology to help them with that.
Yep, we're basing it on positive psychology, so we're looking at the children's character strengths and through different growing games and activities, and to try and help them to use those strengths and skills in their everyday classroom.
Hey, my name is Imogen Gorman and I am an educational psychologist. This year I've been really proud of working with families who've been settled or resettled into Essex from Syria under the Vulnerable Persons Relocation Scheme, and one of the things that I was most proud of this year was, after having worked with the family and a young little boy, watching him in a PE lesson running after a ball, listening to all of his friends shouting, "Run, run, you can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man," and it was just really lovely to see from how he'd started when I first started working with the family to watching him in that PE lesson. It felt good. I really like working in Essex because all the team are just very lovely and supportive and very kind, and the socials are fun.
Okay, I'm Sarah Prophet. I'm an educational psychologist in North East Essex, and I'm really proud and have thoroughly enjoyed this year the work that I've been doing with the T groups, the Talking Education and Adoption groups, which I started in December, and I've enjoyed them so much because I think they're just a really different piece of work that I haven't been able to do before, and I can really use my psychology skills to help facilitate the groups and meet some really interesting people and hear some wonderful stories.
I'm Mandy Furness, I'm an educational psychologist in Mid, and I've particularly enjoyed and been interested in working on the EPS Maths project this year.
Whenever you're ready. My name's Corinne Toomey and I'm the Senior Specialist EP for Autism, or one of.
And I'm the other Senior Specialist EP for Autism Spectrum. I'm Mike Kelly. And what I like about Essex is you get a chance to be anything you possibly could be in your role. So whether it's working with an individual child, or training other people about the autism, or working in a kind of county hall about policy level, setting up new provision, all those things in the job that you get to do.
Yep, and we're most proud of saving the ASD course. It's a 12-session course. It's been going for some time and it was at risk of ending, but we managed to save it all.
Yes.
Mike, you had your superhero.
We did.
Hello.
We both, yes. So we rescued the course, and we're in the middle of that now, and we're thoroughly enjoying doing it, delivering it, and overseeing the whole course, and helping the students with their assignments and everything. It's fantastic.
It was my debut yesterday, Mike, so I presented yesterday.
Yes.
No one left the room, so
you were very
must
good.
have been quite good.
You were very good.
Okay, I've been working in Essex as an EP for a long time, and one of the things I've really enjoyed about working in Essex is the opportunities to work with different agencies. So I've worked for a time with the Child and Mental Health Service and with the Youth Offending team, and being as it is such a big service, it's a really good opportunity to meet and work with a range of different professionals and agencies.
Okay, so my name is Janet Bride and I'm a main grade EP working in Essex. I work in North East Essex, and I think one of the things I enjoy most
is bringing positive psychology into the work that I do in schools and helping people find creative solutions.
Oh, I like working in Essex because of the opportunities it opens up being such a large service, and the enormous amount of skills, abilities and knowledge of the colleagues throughout the service, which I enjoy tapping into.
My name's George Thompson. I'm an educational psychologist here in Essex. One thing I really like is that we've currently got quite tight patches, so most of the work is involved with the same schools, so you're actually able to build up a relationship with the schools, which I find is really, really important in terms of being able to know who's who, what's going on, and it gives you a much better context when you've got problems being discussed to understand where and how they are.
My name is Sophie Winter. I am a trainee educational psychologist, year 3. I am due to start working in Essex in September, so I've done 2 training years here and chose to stay in our South base because it's an amazing place to work, amazing supportive team, fantastic seniors with loads of knowledge and really supportive in your career progression.
Hi, I'm Laura Dunstan. I'm a Senior Specialist Educational Psychologist in Essex for Children Care and Post-Adoption. And one of the reasons I like working here is because as a senior you're given a lot of autonomy in your role, and I've had various projects on the go in the last couple of years really that I'm quite proud of. So we started the Essex Attachment Aware Schools project, which is a whole school systems project across the county, free training for schools on the area of attachments so they can support their most vulnerable children. And in tandem with that we've started the T groups in Essex, which stands for Talking, Education and Adoption, and these are groups for parents of children that they've adopted, where they can come and talk about issues linked to school, because there are many of them. And one of the reasons I like these pieces of work is because we're dealing with schools on the one hand, but supporting parents with the other, so we hope that when you track these 2 things together, there's a whole systems approach to supporting vulnerable children in Essex.
Okay, hello, I'm Jane Tyndall-Biscoe. I work in the northeast of Essex in the Colchester area. I am one of 4 senior specialist DPs for child and adolescent mental health. We get to do some quite interesting things such as working on critical incidents. We do quite a lot of work with the youth offending team for a day a week, which is also quite interesting. We get to work quite creatively in different ways with schools for emotional wellbeing, mental health projects, things like that. So all very busy, very varied and very interesting.
My name's Ros Tracy. I'm a main grade education psychologist and I work in the North East area. I love working there. I'm very close to lots of schools near the sea, and I travel the backwaters of Harwich frequently and find schools very committed to working with EPs. They enjoy linking with me around problem solving, and I have the chance to use lots of the inclusive tools, particularly kind of solution circle work and circle of adults, which schools have found very helpful and useful.
Hi, I'm Laura, educational psychologist. One of the bits of work that I really enjoyed doing this year was some assemblies for the Year 11s based on exam anxiety, and then got to work with some smaller groups of differing abilities and actually discussing how they're going to cope with the upcoming GCSEs and talking about different strategies and what they can do to help with that. I really like working in Essex. I'm obviously relatively new. The team's been really great. I've worked across 2 different teams and everyone's been really nice and supportive.
Hello, my name's Melanie Sagal. I'm an educational psychologist in South Essex. I really enjoy working here because we have quite a bit of autonomy in our role, and something I'm pleased that I've done this year is supporting at one of my junior schools to set up a girls' friendship group, which came about through a piece of casework that I did in the school. I helped them set this up through, it was based on group work that I did as part of my thesis when I did my doctorate, and it uses a person-centred approach. They did some baselines before and after the intervention, and I've had some really positive feedback from the girls, and this is something we're going to continue doing in the school each year, and I'm hoping that I can roll this out to other schools.
Okay, my name is Ben Jones. I'm a Senior Specialist Educational Psychologist, and my specialist area is the early years. And what I want to talk about, I want to talk about some work I've been doing for my doctoral research, where I've been doing some work in the field of positive psychology, helping children to become more aware of their character strengths and the character strengths they use when they do their various activities. And this has been very satisfying. I'm not entirely sure I've got positive results yet, but the very fact that I've been able to do this whilst working in Essex and spend quite a lot of time on it has been really quite rewarding and good fun.
My name is Anna Sutton. I'm an assistant educational psychologist. I've not been with the service very long, just a few weeks, but so far I've really enjoyed aiding an educational psychologist do a solution circle. I enjoyed seeing teachers empowered to come up with solutions to the vulnerable children in their schools.
Hello, I'm Ros Somerville. I'm the Principal Educational Psychologist in Essex, and I'm very privileged to have that job. I work with an incredible bunch of educational psychologists here who are very creative and innovative, extremely hardworking, and we have a number of very exciting and interesting projects, in my opinion, that we are involved with. We have a number of national speakers that come and work with our service. We work in a solution-orientated way, working closely with Dr. Johan Rees, and that's led us to continually seek to develop our service and improve using the resources we have within our own service, as well as thinking about how we can draw on good quality services in other areas. We have some work around thinking about how we can support those children who are adopted with our T groups, talking education. I can't remember what that is called. T, is it adoption? An adoption.
Two people have said.
Yeah. We have our T groups, talking education and adoption, and we work with children supporting their maths development with the Essex EPS Maths programme. I personally have just had 2 days of training with the Elkland project, or the Elkland approach to teaching language, and we want to set up a project using that approach within our secondary schools in our areas of most need, Tendron and Harwich. So that's some work we're looking to do in September. We're always looking for new things to do. It's a great place to live and work. Essex as a county council has many benefits available to those of us who work here. They look after us well in terms of making sure that we have access to training that we need, and certainly that's something we seek to do within the EP service as well. It's a great place. Come and work for us.